Welcome back to the Daily Discussion. Have you ever read something that other people have complained about online and realized how different your thought process is from other people? I had that experience today because I was looking at this program and I came across a Reddit thread discussing it, and somebody didn't like the tactic, or I'll call it a tactic, they mentioned it as a tactic, that this company was using. And the quote unquote tactic was the company told you up front how much they would charge for their services. And they said, we'll give you a complimentary call. However, if you're not willing to pay this, please don't schedule a call because we want to work with people who are ready to go now because we have a heavy load and there's lots of people wanting to join us. Now, the people that on this thread were basically complaining about that, saying they didn't like that. They thought it was, rude, and they could have handled it in 17,000 other different ways, whatever. I actually was drawn to that because here's the thing. People who are really good at what they do, they're not trying to find ways to make you want to work with them. They actually have a weed out process. So they do things like that because they want to be sure that they're working with people who want to work with them too. Because they don't want to spend their time just going and talking to people who are looky-loos who don't actually have the intention to go ahead and pay that price. Now, if I show you the price up front and you don't like it and you want to argue with me, I already know you're not the type of person I want to work with. I'm not trying to disparage you. You have your own budget, but I also know how much I'm worth. So if you have a problem with that, I am not the person for you right now. And that's okay. Now, that's my thought process, but these people didn't have that. So I realized in that moment how different of a thought process I have from other people. Now, this isn't necessarily something I've always had. Again, as I've worked on these mental skills, I've developed that thought process. I used to look at things and say, I can't afford them, or saying, oh, that's so expensive. Now I look at things and go, is it in my budget? And do I think it's worth that value to me? I don't even really question it anymore. And not necessarily because I'm super wealthy or like that. I just value things differently now. I don't see money the same way. And because of that, I've actually done better with it. Now, again, I'm not disparaging anybody. Everybody's got their own economic and financial issues and things going on. But I encourage you to maybe take a look at it this way and say, instead of saying I can't afford it, start thinking, is this going to add enough value to me that I might be able to leverage it for something else in the future? Or is it going to help me save money in the long run? So for instance, if it's a workout program, or is it a mental skills program like this, like a coaching program, is it going to be something that improves me in the long run that will actually either keep me healthier and save me money and medical bills later on in the future? Or is it going to improve my knowledge and skill set so much that I can leverage that to a better position and better paying career in the long run? And if so, then it's probably worth the money up front to a certain extent within reason, right? So that's just a different way of looking at it, and the way that I've come to start looking at things and how far I've come, because years ago, I would have absolutely thought the same way that those people did. But now I think so differently that it didn't even cross my mind when I saw that. I was just like, wow, okay, what your value is. So I don't know, just a different perspective. What do you think?